OG have pulled a little party trick out against Fnatic. They got a bit of a signature hero from Ceb, Sebastian, fucking mad, on the offlane Treant. So as you can see, here's the beautiful cosmetics and relics for you. But we're going to start off by looking at the lane here. So this is an Ursa and Windranger lane. Windranger will TP momentarily. You can kind of look at this as, you know, if Ursa and Windranger are probably the meta heroes, or really up there, you can kind of look at Treant and Lina support here is a bit of a reaction to that, because they don't necessarily dominate this lane, but they do really well. It's far more than a trade, than a draw. So with Treant, we're really just going to Treant. You look at what he's doing here. Level 1 leech seed, no invis, and this is what happens. You can trade really well from level 1. Anytime Envy on the Ursa is going to walk up, he's just going to get hit. Ceb as well doesn't, you know, when you're hitting for 95 base damage, you don't really need a Quelling Blade either. So you can look at that as starting the game with an extra 200 gold, which is obviously very cool. So Ursa hits a huge power spike at level 2 when he has Fury Swipes and is slow, but you could probably argue having living armor as well is almost just as big of a spike. Maybe not as big, but it's still pretty decent. You can see how scared Envy is of trading. So I'll just show you a little bit more in the lane, just while it's still level 2 and 2. You can see the pressure and the threat that they're putting out. The threat of the stun as well from Jirax, really nice, but this is just kind of a placeholder for any hero, any support hero for this role. So with this build, obviously there's no invis. He doesn't level lane his guys for quite a while, not until level 8 actually. And it's really, you have to look at it in the, does Nature's guys help him trade? As an invis hero, that's only really useful if you're a support. When he's having to CS all this time, it's much more useful to have the trading spells, which are in this case Leech Seed and Living Armor. So he uses Leech Seed here to trade. Jirax unfortunately makes a bit of a misplay here. You know, I'm not going to tell you that this is the next level best thing of all time, but it's pretty bloody cool. So with the video. But yeah, this is essentially the lane. Not too much happens, so we'll skip to the next part. So here Ceb has just gotten level 8, first point of invis, and he's using that to defend this tower. It's gonna be an example of really nice time, I have to say. Example of a team fight. So delay the fight here just in time. This is an incredible timing. Chen sent back there, making way for the Spectre reinitiate. So just the kind of teamfight impact you're looking to make, and just an example of kind of bait. Obviously this is incredible execution and won't happen like this every time. But yeah, just an example of the teamfight that you do bring. Obviously you know this from support Treant, but to have that kind of impact really early on from a core is also really strong. You're not necessarily waiting for the blink dagger timing, although that can be very handy, and we'll see that later on. So with the first item, Ceb got Ring of a Killer to push the lane early on. They went to the tier 1, tier 2 tower. Second item here is Meteor Hammer, and he's trying to use this to clear the dead lane here. It's a dead lane because it's the risky lane, and we see that right now. He's been ganked with a sentry placement straight down from the heroes that were occupying this area. But he's taken deliberately the risk. So that's something that as an invis hero, and what Meteor Hammer gives you is an ability to clear creep waves pretty efficiently. Yeah, it's a calculated risk. So we'll now go a minute or two later to this same situation, but team handles it a little bit differently. So we see here, Ceb has just bought his Blink Dagger and is looking to continue to play this lane. His teammates mostly won't be. And see, this is where smoking up right now is Fnatic. So being cautious until they show, see the rest of the team being cautious. But OG do this really well, split pushing. This is where the Treant kind of chimes into. You know, it's hard for his team to lose towers when he's got living armor, and they can trade really well. So this Blink Dagger enables him to play much more aggressively into this role, and you also see the teamfight contribution combined. So Blink Dagger also necessary to jump between trees here. Universe sees the blink, drops the Midnight Pulse, but not quite quick enough. Ceb gets away. All you see, 2 sentries down here, so Fnatic can know what's going on. And Ceb knows that Fnatic know what's going on. So fast forward a little bit here to about another 10 seconds. Here we go. So he's telling his team, hey guys, you should smoke up and we can punish this, right? So clearing the wave like he would typically, but using the experience and the tactical nous from previous well, just from his Dota knowledge, you know. He's also happy to show to increase the bait, make it convincing to capitalize on this. So I'm going to show you the extended fight here. So obviously it starts off with his teammates doing really well. Where is Ceb? Yeah, he's joined in there. So they've got 1, they've gone for 2, and they're going for 3 Dragon Balls. Now if we go back to Ceb here, look at this, Blink Dagger almost up, big 2-man root, and it just completes a really emphatic fight. This is probably the game, I wouldn't say winning, but it's kind of the point of no return for Fnatic. They've really lost here. It'll take something really spectacular for OG to lose it. Yeah, to throw it. So that's kind of, you know, the mid-game split pushing idea of Treant. He's taking that dead lane farm. Hero that can be very hard to gank like that, pushes out the waves. So Blink and Meteor Hammer really both integral items here. They give you something that your hero doesn't have before that. And you see the tail push as well. Really handy for a hero like Treant to have. So I think you can really just look at it as an accelerated version of the support tree. It's kind of the same items, but just at a faster playstyle, which is obviously here very, very effective. Treant as well, you know, once he gets the 90 damage, you know, it would have been interesting to see how the game went on further, but the game ended quickly, so, well, from this point. That'll be for another day, so I hope you enjoyed this. It'll be probably, these shorter, more specific hero type stuff is much easier to do and produce, so I'll probably do more of those than I will more in-depth stuff, or, you know, real full post-match reviews, at least in the group stages anyway. So yeah, if you enjoyed that, make a few more. If you haven't, let me know. Cheers for watching.